Will tripped on a toy when he was going to bed.
Oh, sowas ist scheiße.
I remember carrying him. He was trying so hard not to cry. He was so small in my arms. I've never forgotten that feeling. It's most odd what sticks with you. A whole patchwork of memories making up our lives.
Ist das Wills Zimmer? Wahrscheinlich.
I took him to bed to read him a story. He went through a phase of being scared of ghosts. Sharon would buy him ghost storybooks. And he had that pop-up haunted house book too. I always had to check the room for ghosts before he would settle down.
Ach ja, Geistergeschichten.
I always look carefully to reassure him. I remember that night because I promised him then that I would always be there for him, to protect him regardless of anything. He probably thought I meant about ghosts, but I meant it for everything. It's not the kind of promise you forget. I wasn't reading a new ghost book. I was reading him Grimm's fairy tales. The old stories are much better than these new ones.
Grimms Märchen, das sind aber auch Horrorgeschichten, wenn man so drüber nachdenkt.
That night was a strange story called The Ungrateful Son. I think it went something like this. Once upon a time, a man and his wife were eating a roast chicken for dinner. When the man saw his father, a very old man, walking along the road towards them, the man didn't want to share, and so he hid the chicken out of sight. His father came, bid them a good day, and went on his way. The man was very happy, so told his wife to put the chicken on the table again. But the chicken had transformed into a giant toad, which leapt onto the face of the man. The toad wouldn't leave his face, and hissed at the wife when she came near, so she didn't dare approach to help. The man had to feed the toad every day from then on, or it would bite his face, and he never rested for the remainder of his life. Like I say, it was a very strange story.
Like I said, Märchen können auch sehr gruselig sein. Was war das denn für eine verrückte Geschichte?
Will was asleep before I finished it, which was probably a good thing.
So, Lichter aus und schlafen.
It left me in an odd mood. I wondered how long I would be able to keep him safe. I knew I would do my best to help him find his place in the world. Any other grandmother would try to do the same. I could still see him sleeping there now, like it was only yesterday. I'd raised James, so I thought I would be ready for anything from my grandson Will. But I wasn't daft enough to think that it would be easy. The world changes so fast. I remember the family visiting me when Will was a teenager. My husband Robert died when Will was young. He was a good writer, but I do wish he had tried a bit harder. Still, I loved him. We've family over in New Zealand. I went to visit them after James had grown up. We still write letters to each other at Christmas, you know. It's important to stay in touch with your family, even when we're so spread out. I like to go to the seaside at Brighton. They sell these glass animals there, handmade. I started collecting them years ago, and I still get a new one every time I visit.
Okay. Da machen wir wahrscheinlich gleich wieder die Musik aus. Ich gucke erstmal noch ein bisschen. Ja, ihr merkt wahrscheinlich, ich traue mich hier zwischendurch gar nicht was zu sagen, weil die Geschichte, das spricht eigentlich alles für sich selbst. Es wird ja alles erzählt und ich habe immer Angst, dazwischen zu reden und dadurch irgendetwas zu überquatschen, zu übertönen oder so. Also lasse ich das Ganze gerade einfach erstmal auf mich wirken und ja, bin daher etwas ruhiger, als man es normalerweise bei Let's Plays ist. Also nicht wundern, bitte. So, machen wir also mal die Musik aus.
Do you know Al Martino's Here in My Heart? He had such a lovely voice. It was playing when Robert first kissed me. Robert would hum it to me sometimes.
Okay, diesmal bleibt die Musik an, wenn man auf den Plattenspieler drückt. Alles klar. Nicht so wie beim letzten Mal, wo ich sie aus Versehen ausgemacht habe. Okay, die Zeitung.
Back then, Diana had just done that interview, and so we were all waiting for the divorce. There was no way we thought that they could stay together. People seem to believe that all us old folk want to talk about is the weather, so I started the conversation. I see that Diana is in the news again. It seems like she's never out of it these days. It's about time she stopped keeping everyone waiting.
I think it's sad. She was bullied into all of this from the beginning.
The conversation didn't go well from there. I got very frustrated with him.
Ah, jetzt melden sich die Eltern dann auch mal.
Sharon sat there, not saying anything, which was worse than her joining in. But I could imagine her American take on the whole thing.
Okay, die Eltern äußern sich nicht. Zumindest die Mutter nicht.
James didn't help. He has always been so obtuse in his views.
Na gut. also nicht.
I wish I hadn't even tried. They didn't want to hear my views. I said that I was going to make some tea. No one offered to help.
Ja, so ist es manchmal in Familien. Folgen wir ihr mal in die Küche. Ah, wobei, können wir da hin? Nein. Okay, folgen wir in die Küche.
I didn't really want tea. I don't think they wanted it either. But I needed to do something.
Oh ja, solche Situationen kenne ich auch. Wenn man einfach aufsteht, um etwas zu holen, obwohl man es gar nicht braucht, einfach nur um der Situation gerade zu entfliehen.
I suppose all this seems like a strange thing to remember. But it was a sad day for me. I was used to James, and of course Sharon being difficult, but not Will like that. It's not good to stick out like a sore thumb. You have to fit in. These days it's easier to be different, to forge your own path or something like that, and everyone else be damned. There wasn't any choice in my day, but it gave me a quiet life. That was good enough. I was scared for him. He had all these views about things, and it was dangerous. Will was only at the start of his life, but those years are so important. I wanted him to keep his head down, not start arguments.
Was ist das? Ah, okay, eine Wand. Wir kommen da nicht durch. Okay.
I let the tea brew. And I cried for him. He was young, but he was old enough too. He was going to make mistakes, and I wouldn't be able to stop him. I knew something had been broken that day between Will and I. I took a deep breath and pulled myself together. It's not the dumb thing to let others see you get upset.
Okay, jetzt weiß ich auf jeden Fall, wieso er sich nicht sicher ist, ob sie zur Hochzeit kommt. Offenbar ist die Bindung doch nicht so stark oder nicht mehr so stark, wie sie einst mal war.
Robert passed away soon after Will was born. I've lived alone since then. It felt tolerable being by myself until that new distance. It's a terrible thing to feel detached from your own family.
Wie schön das aussieht. Voll die schönen sternförmigen Schneeflocken.
My generation has different values. Oh, goodness, I know that. But
Oh,
I
pass
very
auf.
much believe that they are good. I wasn't prepared to accept that Will wasn't going to talk to me anymore. His views, I felt he was putting his future at risk. Those views, liberalism and such like, I knew he would change his mind as he got older. What damage might he do to his life before he saw that you need to fit in to get along? I was nervous about that Christmas. We hadn't been close for a while.
Okay. Alles schön schmücken.
I remember a Christmas after Will had gone to university, but we were all coming back together for the holiday. I kept in touch with a lot of friends. We didn't have email, of course, but even now they just aren't as good as a real letter.
Ach, das sieht doch schön aus, vor allem mit dem Schnee draußen. Oh. Da kommt doch Weihnachtsstimmung auf. Auch wenn wir gerade eigentlich Mai haben, aber doch, ja. Die Musik dazu. Ich find's schön.
Doing Christmas by yourself takes a lot of work, but I like to keep busy. Will was bringing a girlfriend, Sarah. I wanted the place to look perfect.
Sarah? Ist Will nicht mit Harry zusammen? Ist das doch jemand anders? Sarah.
My family arrived just as the Christmas lunch was ready. It was perfect timing. I was very worried about seeing Will. I wanted him to understand that when we disagreed, I didn't mean anything against him personally. I just wanted to keep him safe. When Sharon took Will to America, he was only 10. Like most boys, he wasn't much of a letter writer. She took him away from us for 3 years, and I barely saw him. James is like his father, really. A wonderful boy, but I do wish he would apply himself more. Sarah was lovely, of course. She was a bit shy back then, I think. We talked about her university courses. She really had no reason to be nervous.
Ach naja, wenn man die Familie seines Freundes das erste Mal kennenlernt, oh doch, dann ist man nervös. Also, ja, doch, auf jeden Fall.
Will was growing up to be such a fine man.
Tutan.
He was so courteous and attentive.
Ein echter Gentleman. Alles aufgegessen.
I felt so proud of Will. He was becoming the man I had hoped he would be. Sarah seemed like Such a lovely match for him. He would have a happy, normal life. But that was the last time I saw her.
Okay.